Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing I want to talk about today is this incredibly troubling story out of New Jersey. Last Sunday, 11 p.m. at night, police officers attempted to stop Leo Pinkston, a 48-year-old man. Pinkston fled the scene and led police on a 6-mile pursuit. And during that pursuit, reportedly police officers opened fire. Pinkston crashed 2 separate times. And the second time Pinkston crashed, he crashed into a utility pole that caught fire. The fire then spread. And as a result of this final crash and the fire, another innocent driver who was not a part of this pursuit was critically injured. The latest report said that this victim is in the hospital fighting for his life. He has multiple broken bones, second and third degree burns. Pinkston was arrested. He was charged with eluding and aggravated assault. But then the story took a weird turn because it turned out that there was video evidence of what happened after the car's crash. There's a big fire. We see a man emerge from the crash. He puts himself out by rolling around. And then we see this. After the police officers surround this man, it looks like he's not giving a fight. He's kicked in the face, and it looks like the rest are stomping on him. And this, of course, sparked a debate that we have seen all over the internet. When anyone runs from the police and something horrible happens after, there's people saying, well, you shouldn't have run, and then you have other people saying, no, the threat is over. There's no this is uncalled for violence. But here's the thing, there is no reason for that debate because the man being kicked and stomped on is not Pinkston. No, that was the innocent burn and crash victim that's in the hospital now. That is horrifying. This guy was just in his car. All of a sudden, Pinkston crashes into him. All of a sudden, this innocent guy is on fire. He puts the fire out, and then the police proceed to beat him down. What the hell? Now, luckily, if you can even use that word in this story, we have this video evidence. It does look like the city is going to go after these police officers. The mayor of New Jersey tweeting out this video with the caption, "To be clear, this is unacceptable. We're IDing officers will pursue termination and criminal charges as appropriate." And I really don't know how to end this story. I'm depressed because all I see here are monsters with a badge. I'm not trying to villainize all police officers. When I look to this footage, all I end up wondering is how often have they done things like this and they just didn't get caught? It makes me sad to think that none of these people who committed this monstrous act would have been held accountable had not someone just randomly whipped out a phone. And actually, I do want to pass off a question to you guys around this story. I mean, you can tell me your takeaway from this, but what is your general opinion about police officers? When you see instances like this, do you think, oh, it's a few bad apples, or do you think there is a problem with the whole system, that it's like 50-50? I'd love to hear your thoughts here. But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today, and today in Awesome, brought to you by Phil.Ting.com. Ting, of course, the fantastic no BS fees, sketchy charges, cell service. You just pay for what you actually use. The average Ting user pays $26 a month for their one device. So if you want to check it out, you want to make a smart move like many from the nation already have, go to Phil.Ting.com, check it out, use their savings calculator, and maybe make the switch. And the first bit of awesome is we got Coyote Peterson and Hot Ones doing it together. Well, I mean, making a video together, I don't know why I said it that way. Then we got a brand new trailer for the Disney Pixar movie Coco. I am so excited to watch this with my child and then also cry. Pixar movies are therapeutic for me. It's like one of only 3 things that can make me cry. And we got a new short from Cyanide and Happiness. Then the YouTube channel ASAP Science made a video called Is Binge Watching Bad For You? I'm just gonna assume no, because I'm an adult and half the point of even being an adult is doing what you want despite the fact that it's bad for you. And we got a brand new story trailer for Shadow of War, and yes, I can't wait. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. And then let's talk about this story and video that is blown up out of Belgium. And the situation involves a man at the Brussels airport. He is having an issue boarding his flight with Ryanair. He decides to film it, maybe because he wants evidence, maybe because it's all the rage to expose airlines being shitty. And the description on the YouTube reads, "Is it because I am black? Mob tendencies by Europeans against dark-skinned foreigners, especially so-called blacks, are alive and well as evidenced by this video." So that said, let's look at the video. And what we see for the first 3.5 minutes is the customer, the guy filming, says, "I want to talk to your supervisor." The issue appears to be that he was on a Ryanair flight. He did not print his boarding pass. And Ryanair, if you are not familiar, they're one of those super cheap, inexpensive airlines. So the airfare itself is very low, but pretty much anything else, there's going to be a charge or a massive charge. And one of their policies, and you know this if you've flown Ryanair, is if you don't have a printed boarding pass, you don't have your boarding pass, you have to print it there. They're going to charge you. You didn't do it, that's going to cost you $50. And the man filming is being very aggressive with the woman behind the counter, Sabrina, and the reason we know her name is he says it about 12 million times.
Sabrina Mav, Sabrina. Being a complete, total What are you being, Sabrina?
And this is happening while we see her on the phone. She is either on the phone trying to get security or an actual supervisor. But the man filming keeps this going. Then about midway into this, another man walks into the situation and says, "Stop harassing this woman." And that goes as well as you might expect at this point.
How am I harassing her? How am I
You
harassing
were harassing
her?
her.
I'm a customer.
No,
I'm
you're
a
not a
customer.
customer. You're
Oh, I'm
harassing
not a
her.
customer.
She's trying to get
Mind your
over.
own business, Baldy. Mind your own business. Go sit down, old man.
Then Sabrina starts breaking down, she starts crying, and how does the grown person behind the camera react?
Now you're having an emotional breakdown. Are you happy, dude? Happy? Happy?
The video continues, we see Sabrina breaking down more and more, just full on crying, more people start intervening.
Who are you? Who are you? I'm a bully because I'm a customer?
Another guy tries to calm him down. It works here and there, but not really.
I talk quiet to you.
Okay,
you
so
talk
just
quiet
tell her
to
to
me.
check me in.
So what I'll say is, yes, while the Ryanair fees can be frustrating, the person that seems to be completely in the wrong here is the man-child filming. It's amazing to me that he filmed himself harassing this woman, throwing out childish comments to anyone that tried to intervene, and he posted it online and was like, yeah, can you believe this happened? Yes, I can believe this happened. I also feel like you saw this video and you're like, maybe just to move the deck a little bit more in my favor, I'll say, is it because I'm black? Even though literally at no point in this video do I mention anything about this being the treatment because of the color of my skin. No, you're just a big disgusting bully with his head so far up his ass that you thought obviously everyone was gonna be on my side. Also, I kind of find it funny that he was saying that he was treated a certain way because of the way he looks, but the only inclusion of the way people look in this video is when he starts talking about a fat bald guy.
You need to break, you out of shape, donut eating bald piece of crap.
Also, in response to all of this, Ryanair said that they're looking into this, but Ryanair released a statement saying, "We will not tolerate unruly or disruptive behavior at any time." So it looks like they're backing their employee, which is good to see here. And then let's talk about this woman in Toronto where she is blowing up. Today is gonna feel like a douchebag of the day parade. There's this woman in Toronto, she is ordering Chinese food, and she gets really angry and she starts spouting this.
No English.
Then they should go back to China. Go back to China. This is Canada.
Canada.
English.
Anybody that-
If you're gonna work here, it is the law to know English.
Okay, first thing, while you may have a preference that people speak English, it is not the law in Canada that you have to speak English. Now, there is a law in Canada that you have to speak English or French if you work at certain federal institutions, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say random Chinese restaurant, not a federal establishment. Also, you brought yourself to a Chinese food market. You are ordering Chinese food and at the same time yelling, "Go back to China." That is next level intolerance. I'm all for the idea of if you are going to work here, you're gonna do business here, you know, you need to try and learn the language so that you can be a part. But spouting garbage that it's the law when it's not is stupid. Telling people to go back to China, you don't know if they just got here. You seemingly went into this market because you want authentic food. And I say this to both men and women. The woman in this story, the guy in the first one, there's no reason to be a bitch. That's it. But what I will say is if there is a silver lining to this, I think that maybe this takes away to some degree. I feel like a lot of people in America think that Canada is this like non-racist, beautiful wonderland. There's hate everywhere. It's just who the target of the hate is changes. And then let's talk about the James Comey Senate Intelligence hearing. This was a little bit of what we predicted yesterday, a mixed bag. Negative information came out from the left and the right. Many on both sides feel like they walked away with what seemed to be a win. And depending where people are primarily getting their news around this, you might not see all the different points. So let's try and get through all of these. James Comey said the Trump administration defamed he and the FBI.
And although the law required no reason at all to fire an FBI director, the administration then chose to defame me and, more importantly, the FBI by saying that the organization was in disarray, that it was poorly led, that the workforce had lost confidence in its leader. Those were lies, plain and simple. And I am so sorry that the FBI workforce had to hear them, and I'm so sorry that the American people were told them. I worked every day at the FBI to help make that great organization better. And I say help because I did nothing alone at the FBI. There are no indispensable people at the FBI. The organization's great strength is that its values and abilities run deep and wide.
Then when Comey was asked why he had detailed accounts of each meeting he had with President-elect Trump and then President Trump, but not President Obama and President Bush, he said this.
I think the circumstances, the subject matter, and the person I was interacting with. Circumstances first, I was alone with the President of the United States, or the President-elect, soon to be President. The subject matter, I was talking about matters that touch on the FBI's core responsibility and that relate to the President-elect personally. And then the nature of the person. I was honestly concerned that he might lie about the nature of our meeting, and so I thought it really important to document. That combination of things I'd never experienced before, but it led me to believe I got to write it down, and I got to write it down in a very detailed way.
He also reiterated things that he had written down in that statement we talked about yesterday. The claims that Donald Trump asked for loyalty, and then he said honest loyalty. Claims that Donald Trump said, I hope you can let this thing with Flynn go. Then regarding the source of Comey's memo that leaked to the press, we found out who did it.
I asked, President tweeted on Friday after I got fired that I better hope there's not tapes. I woke up in the middle of the night on Monday night, because it didn't dawn on me originally, that there might be corroboration for our conversation. There might be a tape. And my judgment was I needed to get that out into the public square. And so I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. Didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel. And so I asked a close friend of mine to do it.
Then when Comey was asked if Trump or his administration tried to obstruct the Russia investigation, he said this.
Did any individual working for this administration, including the Justice Department, ask you to stop the Russian investigation?
No. I don't think it's for me to say whether the conversation I had with the president was an effort to obstruct. I took it as a very disturbing thing, very concerning. But that's a conclusion I'm sure the special counsel will work towards to try and understand what the intention was there and whether that's an offense.
And a big part of why Comey was saying that is because of the I hope you can let this go. Comey and many of those supporting Comey see that as a request, whereas others are saying that's not a request. It's a statement. Like if you say, I hope you make tacos tonight, Lindsay, if you are watching this video. It's different than saying, I would like you to go and make tacos tonight, Lindsay. But Comey was also then questioned if you took this as a request, which could be seen potentially as obstruction. Why wouldn't you inform the president that that was inappropriate, that you're not supposed to do that? And his answers seemed to range from, I don't know, to I just wanted to get that conversation to end. Marco Rubio inquired, with so many of these things leaking, some that you leaked to a friend, a leak to the press, all this information's out there, why, if the information is true, which James Comey did confirm was true, that Donald Trump was not personally being investigated at the time that he was the FBI director, why didn't the fact that President Trump wasn't being investigated leak? And to that, several members of the media, including Tom Winter, tweeted, not true, Marco Rubio. We've reported on numerous occasions that the president himself was not personally under investigation. Then the New York Times took a shot to the face. Senator Jim Risch said to Comey, so the American people can understand this, that report by the New York Times was not true. Is that a fair statement? To which Comey responded, it was not true. Again, all of you know this, maybe the American people don't. The challenge is that people talking about it often don't really know what's going on, and those of us who actually know what's going on are not talking about it. We don't call the press to say, hey, you got that thing wrong about this sensitive topic. We just have to leave it there. Comey agreeing that the story was almost entirely wrong. So to the New York Times, expect an influx to the number of people tweeting you fake news. And then later in this hearing, Comey had some interesting information regarding Hillary Clinton and Loretta Lynch. Loretta Lynch was the Attorney General under Barack Obama. And there was some sketchy information around Loretta Lynch. In his testimony, he mentioned two instances about Loretta Lynch that led him to going independent on the Hillary Clinton email scandal. One of them was the tarmac meeting between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. And the other instance is that then Attorney General Loretta Lynch, when the Hillary email scandal was happening, she directed him to describe the Hillary Clinton email probe as a matter, not an investigation. And those things led Comey to believe that Loretta Lynch could not be impartial. And I've got to say, it sure looks that way. How are you like, ma'am, we are not the Federal Bureau of Matters. We're the FBI. What we do is in the name. There were also other things that were said, but just from this, you can kind of tell why there are certain people that are cherry picking and saying, yeah, we won. Now, since the hearing, President Trump's lawyer has responded, stating the president never directed or suggested that Mr. Comey stop investigating anyone, including suggesting that Mr. Comey, quote, let Flynn go. As he publicly stated the next day, he did say to Mr. Comey, General Flynn is a good guy. He has been through a lot, and also asked how General Flynn is doing. Also, Trump's lawyer said the president also never told Mr. Comey, I need loyalty, I expect loyalty in form or substance. Going further, he said it is overwhelmingly clear that there have been and continue to be those in government who are actively attempting to undermine this administration with selective and illegal leaks of classified information and privileged communication. Mr. Comey has now admitted that he is one of these leakers. We will leave it to appropriate authorities to determine whether these Comey leaks should be investigated along with all those others being investigated. And those final statements are interesting to me because it feels like they're trying to categorize him as an illegal leaker, and technically he did leak. But as far as the information in Comey's memos, it doesn't appear that there was any classified information in those. So while you could love or hate Comey for doing this move, as far as the legal situation, it's not the same as the other leakers. But that is where we're going to have to leave it today. There's going to be more information that comes out later tonight, tomorrow morning. And if you watch the hearing or you're just hearing about it from here, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Also, of course, this is the Philip DeFranco Show. If you want to talk about the first story, anything in between as well, leave them in the comments down below. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I try and do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss these daily videos. Also, if you did miss yesterday's Philip DeFranco Show, you can click or tap right there to watch that. If you want to see the newest behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.